You seem like you purposely want to set up this dichotomy between, oh, this is a blue state and that's a red state. Yeah. And I don't want to live in that country. I like Florida.
I'm with you. And by the way,
so Bill Maher had Gavin Newsom on Real Time the other night. And honestly, he did not let the guy breathe. He really pinned him down, especially on the whole DEI thing. Now, look, a lot of folks believe Newsom is gearing up for a presidential run, and I'm one of them. I genuinely think he's got a real shot at the Democratic nomination. And Bill Maher, he's still a Democrat at the end of the day. Even if he's been waking up lately, he probably wants his party to put their best foot forward. So he's not doing this to be mean. He's doing this because he wants to know, is this the guy? Can this guy actually hold up? Let's watch what happens when Bill Maher puts Gavin Newsom on the spot.
Not this year, we know. No, I know. But he said, I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state. I disagreed, but no, this is a progressive African-American owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but he doesn't think you can win. What do you say to that if you could win look at the swing states, there's only 8 of them.
Right. Well, I mean, California is an interesting case study, isn't it? It's the size of 21 state populations combined.
Yeah.
2/3 of the state is very deeply red. We don't need to be lectured on rural politics or border issues. I mean, in so many ways, these are familiar issues, and the issues of the heartland of the United States are very much a part and parcel of the work we're doing in this state. But look, I understand this notion that you're from the coast, you don't understand those things. You can't talk the language. You're not able to communicate, and you're not able to actually encourage and find that common ground.
It's stuff like there's a new law in this. I think we have way too many regulations and laws, as we've talked about. And this one, I think, says if you're a department store with over 500 employees, you have to have a gender-neutral toy department.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it.
So do you think that's silly? Do you think that's a silly thing? That we too much government there.
That's an interesting one.
And just like that, boom, politician mode activated. You can see it happen in real time. Bill Maher clearly thinks the whole thing is ridiculous. The audience thinks it's ridiculous. And honestly, anyone just living their normal life thinks it's ridiculous. But Newsom, he's not going to admit that, because this isn't really about logic for these guys. It's about control. It's about grabbing as much power as possible and then using it. That's been the Gavin Newsom playbook in California for years. And no, Bill, he genuinely does not think it's silly. That's actually the scariest part.
Department stores came to us supporting that, and they were the ones making a case for that. They were making us. They're already moving in that direction.
Wanted you to make a law about them?
Well, but they supported the legislation. It wasn't legislation that was enacted, that was initiated from my office, but it was legislation that came up with interesting support from the industry itself. But I understand how that's exploited, and good people can disagree. But that's not something we woke up and said, this is a top priority for the state, when we know what the top priorities are: homelessness, housing, the issues of crime, quality of life, and issues related to regulation and taxes, which are all top of mind. But I get how those things are weaponized.
All right. So, Juan, I got you here, because I live here and I'm not going anywhere. So I just want to make this a better state like everybody else.
Amen.
And good job this year making it rain.
You're welcome. That was my legislative priority.
It was looking bad there for a while, and we still don't have enough water in the Colorado River and all this stuff. Yeah. And then whenever I read 80% of the water goes to agriculture. Almonds. Right. No one ever asked you about almonds? Oh, I'm going to ask you about almonds. We grow a boatload of almonds.
I'm well
here.
aware.
You know how much water it takes?
Many gallons.
1,900 gallons to grow a pound of almonds. Yeah. Come on, man. Take on big almonds.
Take on big almonds.
I mean, it's not like we...
Wait, hold on. Did he just say 1,900 gallons of water to grow 1 pound of almonds? I'm sorry, what? I'm no farmer. I'll be the first to admit that, but that number sounds absolutely wild. And if California is basically feeding the entire country almonds, they need a ridiculous amount of water they don't exactly have in abundance. Now, obviously, Gavin Newsom can't make it rain, though I'm sure there are people in California who'd give him credit if it did. But that's actually a really sharp point from Bill Maher. I had no idea. That's kind of blowing my mind right now.
No. You're right about it. It's not that we don't have the water. That said, the last couple of years were tough. I mean, but it's also where the water's falling and we're not capturing it. And we're not capturing in those extreme years with these atmospheric rivers. Wets are getting a lot wetter, dry's drier, hot's getting a lot hotter. And so we've got to modernize our conveyance system. We've got to modernize our storage, not just above ground, but below ground. And so that's a big part of our focus and frame, including desalinization plants. We have 20 projects just on desal that we're working on today. So we put out a detailed water strategy that includes, by the way, getting that Delta conveyance project back up and operational, and includes the first above ground off stream storage facility in half a century in the state, which, by the way, is being aided by a regulatory package I pushed forward to reduce red tape in the state of California and address the permitting quagmires that you rightfully pointed out.
You're good at this.
What?
See, I'm telling you're good at this job. Okay, but here's I feel like the last couple of years you've purposely picked this fight with the red states. I mean, but I don't want to live in the Civil War country.
I agree with that.
You know what? But you seem like you purposely want to set up this dichotomy between, this is a blue state and that's a red state. Yeah. And I don't want to live in that country. I like Florida.
I'm with you. And by the way, I like Florida as well. I like all these states. I completely agree. I don't want to have a state of mind that's...
Did you see that? Did you see Newsom squirm? Because I did. The man was visibly uncomfortable. And that right there is exactly why I've got so much respect for Bill Maher these days. He doesn't just talk about these people in his monologues. He actually brings them on, sits across from them, and calls them out to their face. That takes guts. Now, credit where it's due. Newsom is a smooth talker. He knows how to work a room, get a laugh, redirect the conversation. He's politically gifted, even if his policies are a mess. But Maher isn't buying it. Because at the end of the day, someone like Newsom getting more power isn't going to unite this country. It's going to split it wider apart. And here's what gets me about the whole left versus right thing. Both sides treat politics like it's a sports rivalry. My team versus your team. And because of that, people end up defending things they don't even actually believe just because it came from their side. That's not how real people think. Nobody genuinely agrees with absolutely everything from one side and hates everything from the other. That's just tribalism dressed up as politics. We should be asking, how do we work together? And yeah, maybe that sounds naive, but it shouldn't. That should be the baseline. Not forget your side just because it's your side. And that's Newsom's whole thing. And I'm glad Bill Maher is finally saying it out loud.
So we've been polarized and traumatized. This has been a tough 5-6 years across the globe, not just in this country. That said, I'm not going to sit back and watch. You made the point just a moment ago in your monologue. You got folks out there trying to bring us back to a pre-1960s world. America in reverse, rolling back voting rights, LGBTQ rights, women's rights, not just access to abortion, but contraception. I mean, it's a profound and consequential moment. And you could sit by and say, well, I really want to get along as these guys are rolling back the clock, or you can stand tall and assert yourself. And the reason I started to go into those red states, the reason I started to take on DeSantis, and the reason I started doing ads in these red states is I didn't feel my party was doing enough. It was CRT one year, and then it's ESG, and it's DEI, anything with 3 letters. These guys keep coming, and they're shape-shifting, and they're trauma. And so, but it's true, right? And I just felt there was a little timidity in our party, and I thought we need to call this stuff out. These guys.
Oh, wow. Now that was a pivot. Did you catch that? Newsom just turned around and started criticizing the very DEI stuff he spent years cheerleading for. All those woke buzzwords he just rolled his eyes at. He was pushing those harder than almost anyone. But now that the wind has shifted, now that guys like Bill Maher are holding people accountable, suddenly Newsom wants to be the reasonable one in the room. Classic. Anyway, drop your thoughts in the comments. What did you make of Maher's approach? Do you think Newsom's actually running? And if he does he get the nomination? Let me know. I want to hear what you guys think about this whole Bill Maher and Gavin Newsom situation.